We've got the Cadillac Escalade.
Hello, big boy.
Hang on, Zach. We're in a mighty V8. Oh, he sounds so good.
All right, there's been some news around this engine in the press. We're going to tell you about that. The diesel, the electric, a whole bunch more coming up throughout the video. Right now, what's under the hood of this one?
A 6.2-liter V8 with a 10-speed automatic transmission. 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. Standard four-wheel drive in Canada, but rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is available in the US.
There's also a more powerful gas model, which is the V Series. It's got a supercharged 6.2 liter, 682 horsepower, 653 pound-feet of torque, and standard all-wheel drive. Well, this big boy has been updated for 2025, so let's get into the key standard features of Escalade.
The base trim comes with a 14.2-inch driver display with augmented reality, a 55-inch diagonal HD curved display with navigation, wireless Apple Carplay and Android Auto, a wireless charger, 19-speaker AKG audio system, leatherette upholstery, heated 12-way power front bucket seats, driver's seat memory, a heated steering wheel, panoramic sunroof, heated second row seats, AutoSense power liftgate, and Super Cruise. The Escalade comes standard with a premium smooth ride suspension. We have the Sport Platinum model, and it has extra features like magnetic ride control, adaptive air ride suspension, and an electronic limited slip differential. It makes for such a smooth ride. Glides over the speed bumps.
Now, we had just a few weeks ago the IQ model, the electrified version, and that one came with the rear steering.
Yeah.
And this one does not have that. I did notice that one was it's bigger, by the way. That one was so easy to wheel in and out of parking spots.
Yeah.
This one's not tough. That one was just better.
Yeah, the turning radius on this for such a large SUV is still really good, but boy, that IQ with the four-wheel steering, that was quite incredible.
So magnetic ride control is its own little magic system. What it does is it senses the road 1,000 times a second. 1,000 times a second.
know.
Who could even do that? Well, this system can, and it adapts the suspension up to 100 times per second. It's a highly variable system that really does work. It's so good, it's used by many other brands in the auto industry, including some high-performance models. So magnetic ride control is legit.
And I get the appeal of the Escalade. Yes, it's big. I mean, if you're doing city driving, you might find it challenging to find a large space if you're parallel parking. But as a suburban vehicle where you're on the highway a lot, it's just so comfortable and quiet.
You know
Cadillac has nailed the whole comfort experience.
If you live somewhere, Andrea, where you had big interstate highways and you had a massive expanse of space, somewhere that's as big as this, well, Texas.
I was going to say.
We were recently in Texas, and man, they love their Escalades, their Expeditions, their Tahoes, their Suburbans. Their Navigators, big full-size body-on-frame trucks, are massively popular in places in the US where gas is cheap. It was $2.60 a gallon there.
I know. Here in Vancouver, gas is expensive, but I actually see a lot of Escalades and Denali's on the road. They are popular with people, and the gas...
You know what they are, Andrea? They're rich.
They're rich.
They just don't care.
No, and you know, the fuel economy is dismal when we get into the vital stats,
It's
but
bad.
obviously they just don't care.
Okay, Andrea, we're going to get up to a little higher speed now. What can we put it in?
Got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, a couple car review twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So it'd be really good if you can like and subscribe. Punch it, Andrea.
I mean, there is something so satisfying about a V8.
And also, there's no lack of power. So, you know, big truck, big engine, you're all set. All right, let's get into the outside of this thing. There's no getting around it, Andrea. As soon as you see it coming, you know it's an Escalade.
Yeah, it's a beast on the road. I've said this before. When we drive the Escalade, we've got it for a week, people move out of your way. I really like the looks. It's boxy, it's aggressive, it just looks good.
They said, okay, can we order up more grill? They got a lot of grill going on with this, but it is a big vehicle. And you know, one thing I have to say, I said this recently, what was the other vehicle? The Optic we were driving recently. I said, I think we're at a particularly high point for General Motors styling. They're doing a very good job across all of their divisions. Cadillac is a halo brand, of course, and they have always pushed the needle when it came to design. And yeah, there's nothing else on the road that looks like a Cadillac.
And when you speak to Cadillac executives, we did at the Vancouver Auto Show, they're really proud of their design, and really they should be. They look great right now. Now, we're riding on 24-inch wheels.
24, wait a second, just think about that. 24-inch wheels.
My God, it just eats up the imperfections in the road. It is fantastic.
That's the magnetic ride control and the air suspension.
Really good. The Escalade comes standard with chrome exterior accents, LED headlamps, automatic headlamp leveling, adaptive front lighting, LED tail lamps, upper active arrow shutters, auto dimming, power folding exterior mirrors, dual outlet exhaust tips, and a full-size spare tire.
If you want to up the sportiness, you can get sport models with gloss black body side moldings, black exterior accents, black badging, 22-inch black wheels, and available 24-inch black wheels. So we mentioned this has been updated for 2025. You won't notice the changes on the outside. It's all on the inside. This is the frontier that brands have to keep innovating on because there's so much emphasis on technology in cars, on screens. So you know what Cadillac said? Well, we'll just do one big ass screen that goes from this side to that side and frame it with a couple of AKG speakers. Job done.
Oh my gosh, 55-inch diagonal display. Can you believe it? This is standard. I mean, it should be. This isn't a very expensive vehicle, but it's their flagship vehicle, so it's got to be just so. Do we need this giant screen? No, we don't need it. Is it kind of overwhelming? I would say so.
Well, the learning curve to get into all of, like, we've had two of them now. We had the IQ, which is identical up in the front here, and then this one. And I'm still, after a week with that one and a week with this one, trying to figure stuff out.
I mean, there's just so much going on. I actually really like the screen at the center console with all the climate control. I can just hit that and then it comes up on the screen and I can make my adjustments. But I just find that there's a lot going on in here. There is a center console dial, so you don't even have to touch the screen. Me too. And I think that that's helpful. Quite a bit of piano black at this center console. I think we could do without that. We've talked about it before. But overall, it is a comfortable experience, as I mentioned, with the handling and how it drives.
Yeah, but when you look at the details, it's the finishes on the inside are really first rate. You've got aluminum on the dash, you've got real wood on the dash, real hand cut and sewn leather seats, nice mix of materials. Andrea mentioned a little leaning too hard on the piano black, but you're paying a lot for this vehicle. It looks like it's expensive because it is.
This has got a floating center console, so you've got storage underneath. This is big. The door pockets are quite narrow. Not sure why they went with it, considering it's such a large vehicle. But Zach is right. All of the stitching in here and the quality, this in our test model is semi-aniline leather, and it's everywhere. Even at the center console, on the dash, they've done a wonderful job. I am surprised that this comes standard with leatherette upholstery. I know that some people want leatherette, but I think that there should be leather at this price point. In Canada, it starts over $126,000. And I think leather should be, unless people don't want it and there's an option for leatherette. Also, I think the massaging seats in our test model are so good. They're not really so light. Usually when you get in a vehicle, they're quite light. I'm really feeling it. I like it.
Well, Andrea touched on the massaging seats. They're available. Also available, ventilated front seats, a head-up display, 36-speaker AKG sound system, AKG Bluetooth headphones. The rear seat entertainment system, you can get a bench seat or captain's chairs, power folding third row seats, plus it comes standard with 126 color ambient lighting. This is a big vehicle. Here's me getting in the second row. Of course, they slide fore and aft. They recline. You've got good leg room, good headroom. How does this stack up?
Since it's so big, I'll give you the length just in case you want to put it in your garage. 211.9 inches. Front row legroom is 44.5 inches and second row legroom 41.7 inches.
When you put the second row forward, it's very easy, especially with the step on the side of the Escalade, to just walk right into the third row. When you're in there, you have enough room for a full-size adult.
Third row legroom is 34.9 inches.
Lift up the power liftgate. We're going to talk about the IQ in a moment. This isn't as big as the IQ version. You have storage underneath the floor, and all of the seats are fully automated. How does this stack up?
Space behind the third row is 25.5 cubic feet. Behind the second row, 72.9 cubic feet. And overall cargo space is a whopping 120.5 cubic feet.
Okay, we're going to talk about the electric version compared to this in a moment. First, your questions.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Looks pretty cool, this Caddy. Very awesome. Is that 36 speaker sound system good?
I don't know what's happened, because when we drove, well, this body style was brought out about 3-4 years ago. We got the AKG sound system and I was absolutely floored by it.
Yeah.
Then we got the IQ, the electric one, and then this one, and I've been playing around with it and I can't get it back to awesome.
Well, I still think it's really
It's very good.
It's one of the best sound systems I've ever heard. Why, in a previous model review, it seemed better, it's still great.
Okay,
it's a pleasure to
but you
listen
know,
to your music.
The one thing I will say is I went into the sound settings and it has bass, mid-range, and treble.
Yeah.
That's it for EQ settings. I would think with all of these gajillion speakers, you would have more settings. Anyway, the other Escalade, not the other Escalade, what's the one, the Optic we just said?
Optic, yes.
It has the Atmos sound,
Yeah.
but you have to do a subscription for that. This one doesn't have that.
No. I'm in the market for one, but worried about the engine recall. Thoughts? Yes, there is a recall. We actually recently talked about it in our questions, coffee, and cars. And I mean, I understand it doesn't affect this 2025 model. It is a supplier issue, 2021 to 2024 models.
Yeah, so General Motors has said, no, this updated 25 model is not affected, but time will tell. It's an amazing engine. It is their high-performance V8, and it's been made for a long time, so I'm not sure what happened with the supplier, but there you go. So you're right. You're going to take the leap of faith and buy it? It wouldn't stop me, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it is a terrific engine.
Hey, if you want to get a question in for a future video, follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea. And also it shows you what's going on behind the scenes. And for me, it's Motormouth_Auto. And the links are below the like button.
Does the Escalade come with the Duramax diesel or the 5.3 liter, asking for other options due to GM's recent recall on the 6.2 liter?
Okay, so last year they announced that they were stopping the diesel, which is a shame. They said it was only about 5% of buyers chose the diesel, and I would suspect most of them are people who are in the limo business because you're spending a lot of fuel with a livery. And then the 5.3 is really not offered. So it's too bad. I think in Canada, the diesel had a higher take rate.
Yeah, I mean, I like the diesel. It's going to take you further per tank of gas. I think it's a great option, but Cadillac has eliminated it. Just to let you know about that recall, although you can't get the 5.3 liter V8 on this model anymore, it's also not affected in the recall.
Yeah, the other thing is you can get other full-size trucks from General Motors with the 5.3 and the diesel, just not in the Escalade. Yeah. So if you want a Yukon or a Tahoe or a Suburban, you're good to go. And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
Would love to know how this stacks up against the all-electric Escalade IQ.
Well, the biggest difference between this and the IQ, of course, that's fully electric. This has a gas guzzling, and it guzzles a lot of gas. 6.2 liter V8. The IQ is also bigger by about, what, 12, 13 inches, right?
Yeah, quite a bit bigger. Interestingly enough, the IQ offers less cargo space and third row legroom, but in other areas it is bigger. Also, the four-wheel steering, this doesn't get, that gets. And the Escalade IQ, well, it gets up there in price
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah, a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
But the look on the outside is similar. It has an EV kind of look, but the interior is almost the exact same for the driver and the passengers up front. So it comes down to whether you want to burn a lot of fuel or you want to burn a lot of electricity. So
Yeah, and how about just not stopping at the pumps?
yeah, that's something to consider. All right, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep on going with the vital stats of this Escalade.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. We're using MSRP. The luxury model starts at just over $126,000, and the Sport Platinum more driving is just over $171,000. In the US, the first four-wheel drive model starts at just over $93,000, and the Sport Platinum four-wheel drive is just over $122,500.
Well, put your seatbelt on. Here's the fuel economy: 17 liters per 100 kilometers city, 13 on the highway. That's just 14 miles per gallon in the city, 18 on the highway. This Escalade can tow 8,000 pounds, and the warranty is 4 years, 80,000 kilometers, or 50,000 miles. So they're not all full-size body-on-frame SUVs, but they're full-size luxury SUVs. What else can you consider?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Lincoln Navigator with a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6, 440 horsepower, and a starting price of $127,000.
The Jeep Grand Wagoneer with a 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6, 540 horsepower, and a starting price of $105,000.
The BMW X7 with a 3-liter turbocharged inline-6, 375 horsepower, and a starting price of $120,000.
The Mercedes-Benz GLS with a 3-liter inline turbo 6-cylinder, 375 horsepower, and a starting price of $117,000.
So there are 4 3-row luxury SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round: 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
Love the design of the Escalade.
Some very nice updates.
It'd be nice to see less piano black in here.
Okay, they didn't sell a lot of the 3-liter turbo diesel engine, but I think that it would be a nice option for people who like this, but also don't want to spend as much on fuel. So there it is. It's the updated 2025 Cadillac Escalade. What do you guys think of that?
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.